Now, before we actually put this session together, we arranged for some structured interviews with some international associations and with some PCOs and association management companies in different parts of the world to try and get a quick flavor of the issues, the concerns, and whether there are actually any differences or any mismatches between these two different groups, and to give us some food for thought to help to stimulate the discussion as we go forward. Now, here were some of the top line issues that came up. There was definitely a mismatch between the views about whether outsourcing was a good thing financially. We'll talk about that later, but you can guess which people thought it was a fantastic financial idea and those who thought that might not be such a great idea, but a definite mismatch there. There was also a mismatch about the perceived dangers of outsourcing for the relationship between the associations and their own members. Many of the suppliers didn't think this was an issue at all. Obviously, outsourcing isn't going to endanger the relationship between the association and its members. But for the associations, that was a really critical concern. They wanted to make sure that anything they did on outsourcing didn't damage that really critical relationship with their members. There was also, of course, some alignment, which was gratifying. One of those pieces of alignment was the role of outsourcing as a means of improving quality services. So whilst there was disagreement on finance, there was general agreement that this was a potential route to improve quality services. There was also alignment that there is a lot more to outsourcing than simply meetings. And this was coming from both the associations who were looking at a much wider range of issues around outsourcing, and increasingly also amongst the suppliers. They were no longer simply restricting themselves to traditional meeting services which were being outsourced. So alignment there that the market is changing quite significantly. And then there was another area which I kind of call confusion, which was about the trends. We saw this strange mix of more events being brought in-house by associations at the same time that there was a general view that there was more outsourcing happening, and also that there would be more outsourcing going on in the future. So this is an interesting area that I want to explore with my panel as we go forward. And final point on this was that the language used by associations and by the PCOs and AMCs tended to be extremely different. And maybe we'll explore that one as well, about cultural differences on the supply side and on the association side.
How will you inspire the minds of many? Will you provide new perspective that will allow others to see a world full of opportunities? Will you create a voice that captures the imagination of a kingdom? Will you share a welcoming smile that has others feel like royalty? Will you bring the world together via the speed of sound or the hush of a jungle? Will a rich culture and the arts become the fabric of your attendees? Will you stimulate their senses with cuisine envied by the world? Will you forever change the definition of a meeting room and inspire creativity in the beauty of silence? Will you redefine the meaning of work-life balance and create a venue that will have attendees feeling forever connected? Create the moments that inspire the minds of many. Connect people, inspire the world. Thailand.